Yellow, and welcome into See You Next Tuesday. I have the one, the only. It's another Emily this week. It's the month of Emily's. Welcome, as I call her, Miss Emily A Go-Go. I think that's because that's your Instagram handle, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes, that's right. You're in my phone as that. Like, it's the full experience for me.
Absolutely, yeah.
You recently posted on your Instagram story, any of my friends that have a podcast, please do a podcast on the documentary from Paris Hilton. So if you haven't seen it, pause it now and watch it, because we're about to dissect it. And if you don't care about it, I don't care about you. Goodbye. No, not really. Stay along. We'll talk about other shit as well. So what were your overall thoughts / what made you want to talk about it so badly on a podcast?
So the reason I wanted to get on a podcast was because I watched it like maybe a day or two late and there wasn't already an episode out. Mm-hmm. Or the one podcast that I listened to, one of the podcasts I listened to weekly did like a little, like review of it. And I just felt like it was not a deep enough discussion about it, because I feel like I just felt like there was so much to talk about and there were so many different things to explore, from her life to her image to, I don't know, there was just so much. And then obviously the meat of the message, I guess. Right. I was like, I have so much to say and I need someone to please let me say that out loud.
I'm happy to be the person to do it. I went into it not knowing much about it, but I didn't expect it to be what it was. Right. I expected it to be more of like the documentaries of how like fabulous one's life is, or this and that. I didn't expect it to be like deep necessarily, and I felt like it was deeper than I thought that it was, or heavier, if you will. Yeah. But like she's gone through a lot that we really didn't know about, that happened like early on in her childhood, that was so traumatic that it turned her into who she is today.
Yeah.
I mean, her whole thing with like the voice, and because I think she did I saw a thing recently on social media where she was like, it's all been fake, like it's been a persona that I've put on, which is really interesting. But I feel like that's all famous people in a way. Like it's something that you have to put on, because like I feel like everybody behind closed doors just wants to be in their sweatpants. Like underneath this top, I'm wearing pajamas down here, but you'd never know. Right. I haven't taken a shower today yet. Would you know that? Because I have on a full face of makeup. People like to be comfortable. So what do you think was the biggest takeaway for you with the documentary?
Okay, before I say that, can I just say one thing?
Say whatever you want. This is your podcast. You suggested it. It's all yours. Do your thing.
I want to say one thing that I just have to get off my chest. I feel like the voice thing. I just want to talk about that for a second. Okay. So I used to really like care about Paris Hilton, and I have always been very like, I've been very leave Britney alone about Paris for a very long time. Okay. But then I guess not recently, I guess not since I've been an adult really, because like,
well, I think also she disappeared a little.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, because I remember maybe like 3 years ago, I was like, oh, Paris Hilton. Yeah. Let me go see what she's doing. And I went to her Twitter and I saw that her tweets were only getting like 2,000 likes. Mm-hmm. That's so interesting to me because she's so big. How is like her social, so that, and it was like you kind of just like forgot. So I understand why because like, is she out of sight, out of mind, Yeah.
But I mean, so exactly. But when I was watching the video or the documentary, I was like, well, there's so much that, like the voice thing, for example, that's something that longtime Paris Hilton fans know about. Like that's not news that she has two voices. Like that came out as like this big thing that people were criticizing about her, because people love to criticize her. Maybe like 10 years. Maybe like that was one of the last things that came out about her before she dropped off, is probably about how she switches voices. But I want to say we'll get there. But there's a part of the documentary where she's just in like her like confessional type interview, where I think that she switched voices, and I don't think that she did it on purpose. Like, I
Yeah,
think,
no, I feel like it happened a few times. And I mean,
yeah,
it's not to say that like her using like a higher like voice, like whatever it is, like it was just a way that it's like Kim Kardashian. Like I feel like she doesn't like really all the time. Like I mean, maybe
yeah,
they talk like this, but like it like came from something. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's not how they always spoke. Like
no,
that's not, and like it, even when you listen to early Lady Gaga, she talks weird. She has this like fake accent that she puts on, which I fucking loved. It was
yeah,
so much fun. But like I feel like it's really normal, and I also feel like it is a part of Paris's voice at the same time, because when she talks to her dogs, it's how it sounds. You know what I mean? It's just
mhm,
like a higher version of her voice.
yeah,
But I feel like because she was watched for like at such a young age, and I mean, I remember growing up like watching her. That's like all you know, I watched The Simple Life. I was a little young. Like I feel like maybe like my sister was more like really like into like The Simple Life and stuff, and but I
right,
remember like watching it, and that was like the beginning of what the internet and influencers are now.
yep,
Like she created all of that.
yep.
What was, because you were saying that like you were very Leave Britney Alone about Paris.
Mhm.
So did you idolize her? Like what was your relationship with her?
So I always felt like she was unfairly demonized, or I felt like, just like you said, all celebrities have an alter ego.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, The Simple Life, even though I was young, I mean, that was like 2003, maybe up to 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that anybody who was I don't know, to me, I was like, this is clearly a persona. This is like, she's acting
Yeah.
like, this
Right.
isn't who she is. And I knew that when I was like younger. And
Right.
so I always felt like people just loved, and you know, they do this with and this is aside from the clear like appropriation and all of the other problematic things about the Kardashians. But one thing that I always
Mm-hmm.
found weird was that they used to say, you know, like, Kim didn't do anything. Well, no, I mean, she worked. She didn't like not
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I'm sure like Kim wakes up so early in the day and does so much shit. Like, yeah, what she's doing are fashion and like things that maybe people envy and wishes that that was their job and that they weren't sitting at a desk, but like she
right.
is working. Like she did create all of that.
But to me, the thing is, we say that, but Paris created that.
Yeah.
Like, Paris created the
Well,
influencer.
see, for me, I've never looked at Paris like badly. Like I've never like viewed her like that. Like I've always, because I like that type of like that's what I've grown up watching.
Yeah.
So like I have no issue with it. I'm stoned and forgot what I was saying. This is why you don't take bong rips before your podcast episode. Literally, every podcast my guest comes on and I'm like, hey, what's up? And then I like take a bong rip. And then every time I'm like, I shouldn't do that again because then I get high before I do my thing. But I was like, I just want to relax and have some fun. Fuck. What would refresh me?
Okay. Well, I also got off topic, so it's no problem.
Let's circle
Because,
back.
okay, let's circle all the way back. You said, what was my main takeaway from the,
Yes.
um, I would say my main takeaway is that Kathy Hilton needs therapy.
I also have like a note, not gonna lie, not loving the mom. Like I was like,
Not a
oh,
big fan.
I texted my sister and I was like, I feel as if she knew how like bad the schools were, or like that she knew that she went into solitary confinement and all that. Like, don't you like? And I mean, maybe that's me being naive or wrong or whatever, but like, I don't know. Like, don't you have like? Did she had to have known?
See, I think that this is the thing, and this I also feel like I need to have a PSA. Um, the you don't go to these schools without a certain amount of privilege. So
Yeah.
not everybody is on heiress level. Like not
Mhm.
everyone's family owns a chain of hotels, but this is very much like I feel like a lot of white privileged people
Mhm.
end up in these situations because of the way that we deal with behavioral health in the country. I feel like Paris is the exception to the what did Kathy know rule, because I do feel like most parents I that are wealthy, but I feel like they're like tricked into this. I don't
Mhm.
think that parents, they go to these, they look for these schools because it's like their last resort.
Right.
And so the people are like, this is your last resort, and we know plenty of kids like this, and we've got all the solutions, and we're just what we are, the last resort type of thing. And they sell
Right.
themselves that way. And parents, and they say, we're experts. We know what we're doing, and we
Yeah.
know how to get your child in line. And we see this all the time, and we have proven results. And your kid's going to go down a heroin addict, like whatever,
Right.
even if they're not addicted to heroin. So they need this.
Right.
Well, and maybe, no, I'm not going to say that. I don't think that anyone should be abused. I think that
No.
maybe some people should have some of their, like, some people have a lot of privilege and that affects them, but I don't think that means that they need to
Be
be
locked
hit
in a room
or
and
locked in a
naked,
room
like that shit,
or sexually abused.
or taken like from their home and not being told. Like, why? Here's my thing. Okay, yeah, like it's out of control. She goes to parties. She's partying young. Blah 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 blah. Why couldn't they just tell her, we're gonna send you to a school and they're gonna come and get you?
I think that part of, and a couple things. I did a lot of research after this. So there's a subreddit called so this is an industry. It's called the troubled teen industry.
Okay.
And there's so many schools. It's not just Provo Canyon. There's schools, especially out, and I guess you call that the Midwest. Some people call Michigan the Midwest, and I don't think of it like that. But like the Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, those states have less strict child abuse laws. And that's why a lot of these types of behavioral reform schools are out there, because they can get away with this kind of stupid shit. Yeah. So that's why, okay. And also, oh my God, I'm just like flying through this, but I have to get this out right now. I put this on Reddit.
Say anything you want.
Before I watched the Paris Hilton documentary, I was feeling very passionate about what's going on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And I was just like watching it, and I was like, how did the show get here? How did we get here with this show? And so I decided to do a rewatch. And
of this season or all of Beverly Hills?
The whole show.
Oh, so, I'm also watching Beverly Hills right now. I'm on season 3.
I'm on season 3.
Stop! We have so much more to talk about.
I know. Okay, great. And
the Russell shit. Oh my God.
So much shit. Okay, so season 1, episode 4. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
But the fact that we're getting this specific.
Let me tell you, okay? Because I was like, wait, I rewound it and watched it 3 times.
Oh.
It's a Lisa spotlight. Lisa's like, oh, I love cooking at home and da-da-da-da-da. And then she starts talking about Pandora, and then she starts talking about Max. And you're a VPR fan.
Yes.
So like, and I've watched the entirety of Beverly Hills before. But I don't remember this, but Max was a bigger star on VPR than he was on Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And she just very casually is like, well, Max fell into the wrong crowd, and he was smoking pot and doing all kinds of things. And so we sent him to live with his godmother in Utah and went to a boarding school. We sent him to boarding school in Utah. Or Idaho. It wasn't Utah, it was Idaho. And I was like, yo, she sent him to one of these schools.
Did you look it up?
I looked up his name, and I looked up that he went to a boarding school. That's all it says. But it's in Idaho. And it's like, that's where these schools are.
But it's also like, I'm not a parent. So it's hard for me to judge people's parenting, but I watch a lot of reality TV. And I'm like, I would do that differently.
Yeah.
But like, what is the big deal about, like, I did not smoke pot in high school. For some reason, I was really against drugs in high school. Like, I was like, I am never gonna do a drug, and now I'm wearing a pot leaf necklace around my fucking neck every day. I shower with it on. But like, what do y'all expect? What did y'all do in high school? And why are y'all so mad? Like, it's not out of control for your teenager to want to drink, to want to be an adult, to want to smoke pot, to, like, that is normal teenage shit. So I don't understand what the hullabaloo is and why it's so out of control. But then we see Lisa and Ken judge the fact that he wants to be a musician. Because
right.
musicians end up on drugs and this and that, and there's just this whole, like, and then they go to, like, MI, and, like, then they were so impressed when they found out that it wasn't, like, you know, people just shooting up heroin in the corner
Right.
and playing a guitar riff. And I just don't understand, like, that, where it's like, they're teenagers. Like, what did you expect was gonna happen? They can't all be pandy. You know, and, like, he was adopted. So, like, who knows what kind of trauma that he has deep down that he maybe doesn't even actually know about, and or, like, hasn't dealt with, because that family doesn't believe in therapy. We hear Ken talk all about it.
Woo!
I can
Ken makes that
talk
very
for
clear.
18 hours about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now, because I have been, get this, I have been so into watching Beverly Hills that I haven't even been watching, like, the actual live shit that's going on.
I haven't been watching, sorry. I haven't been watching Potomac because I've just been so, like, into Beverly Hills. What?
Did you catch up?
I didn't see last night's episode, no.
Okay, no, I hear last night's episode is where it's, like, really we break the fourth wall.
Okay. I love it.
I love when we break the fourth wall. People hate it when Bravo does that.
I don't think people really hate it. I think that's fake.
Fake.
I'm not gonna say what the guy in the White House says.
I was gonna do it, and then I was like, I'm not saying that. No,
I'm not saying that. But I think that it is. I think that it's bullshit. I think that people love when they break the fourth wall. I think that Bravo doesn't want them to break the fourth wall.
But we love. I mean, like, it. And I don't even remember, like, the first time it, like, really happened, because, like, the only recent other time I remember it happening is in New Jersey, when Teresa, like, walks away and she, like, throws the cup and you, like, see the cameras and shit.
Yeah.
But I love when you see producers or cameras or whatever. It's great. It's where the real juice is. And that's why I feel like they ended up having to show it, because there's all these things that happen and they're like, no, this is what happened. Me pointing with my pen. Put it down.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, shows like Beverly Hills, though, will really benefit from that, because they are doing the most to go. They do the absolute most to not talk about the cameras. Yeah. And it's so bizarre to me. It's like, just say that, like, Denise didn't want ABC on the show. Yeah. And Kyle wanted to keep it a storyline, and Denise was uncool with that, and y'all got in a fight about it, and that's why we're sitting here talking about damn Brandy, goddamn Glanville. Can we just?
That's why.
I mean, that's what I think. I think that it's just like, I just don't think that any of this.
Do you think that they slept together? Do you think that pussy was eaten?
I think maybe some fingering went on. I don't know about pussy being ate.
I feel like, why would Brandy lie about that? When has Brandy ever lied? Has she lied a lot?
Yeah, she lies all the time.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, I haven't gotten to her part yet, okay? I had somebody say to me recently, like, you're not a true fan of Bravo because you can't remember stuff. Listen, I can't remember anything, like, because, like, the "you stole my goddamn house," when people said that quote, I couldn't place it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't place it, but now I can, because I just rewatched Beverly Hills.
Right. Well, I mean, Brandy,
but I just like, forget.
Maybe she doesn't lie. I just think that she exaggerates things and misplaces facts and time and thing like that, to a point where, like, yes, maybe. okay, me and you made out, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we didn't make out when you were dating XYZ on this day. We made out when maybe I was dating someone else, and it's controversial. And that, like, I feel like she takes things that happen and are controversial in one way
Mm-hmm.
and makes them controversial in another way for no
Got
reason.
it.
That's
Got
what I
it.
think she does. Maybe she doesn't lie, but she twists shit up.
Maybe.
Anyway, I don't know why we're talking.
Sorry, I'm just so into Beverly Hills as well.
Me too.
Okay,
As soon as this is over, I'm
we
watching.
can
So.
circle it back to Paris and then get back to this later.
Well, we can tie it in because then we have Kyle.
Oh yeah, and I texted you. I was like, it's so nice to hear Kyle's voice on the old tapes, because when they started playing, I was like, that sounds like Kyle, and then she started her voiceover, and I was like, oh, it actually is Kyle on that tape.
Mm-hmm.
She probably is the reason that they have a lot of footage.
Yeah,
she probably gave it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, and Kyle always, she loves like her sisters, and she loves Paris, and Kyle to me brings off.
What is their relationship again?
Who's?
Kyle and Paris.
Kyle is Paris's aunt.
Got it. Okay.
Kathy Hilton. Okay, so Kathy Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
She's called Little Kathy on the internet. You have Big Kathy, that's their mom.
Okay.
So Kathy Hilton, Kyle Richards, Kim Richards.
Those are the three kids?
Yeah, Kyle, Kim, and Kathy are all sisters, and they're Big Kathy's daughters.
Got it.
Big Kathy is known on the dark web as being abusive and like a stage mom, like Kris Jenner, but not as successful.
Okay.
And being like basically like selling her kids out at very, very young ages, before it was like something where, before it was the way that Kris Jenner does it now, I don't think that it's looked at as that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But what Kathy was doing back in the day with Kim and all them was kind of fucked up, and kind of like putting them in situations that made them uncomfortable just to make money.
Well, even early on in Beverly Hills, you kind of hear them talk about like the child acting thing, and you can kind of tell that it's not the like best memory they've had, like with Kim,
right.
Like because she's like she clearly is not all mentally amazing, like in the beginning there, like, and like now she seems like she's doing really well, so like that makes me happy, but like in the beginning there, so I feel like maybe because of a lot of whatever happened, like she was maybe traumatized.
Absolutely. And I think that so then we come into this other aspect, right? I think that America, United States, hasn't necessarily, and do you know what I do for a living? Like what I do, like for real?
You work with children? You're a teacher?
No, I'm not a teacher.
Not a teacher.
I'm not a teacher.
No.
I'm not gonna say my actual title because I don't need that out there, but basically I'm a behavioral coach.
Got you.
So I work with kids with behavior issues. And it's almost like when I watched this, I thought like, well, shit. And I've been thinking this for a while, like if all schools had people that did what I do, we wouldn't need these, like, there would be no need to sell people on this idea of like a behavioral reform school and our alternative school, anything like that. And so I feel like there's this problem that we have in America where we don't have a really clear boundary on what child abuse is. So a lot of parents feel like, well, my grandma got the switch in the backyard and beat the shit out of me when I did this, that, and the third, and I'm fine. And that may very well be. I'm not a psychologist. I don't, whatever. I just think that like that blurs the line for some parents when it comes to a school coming to you, or you find them and they say, we're going to provide structure. And your kid is 15 out here being a club kid in New York doing blow on the scene. Like, you're going to be like, fucking cool. They do need, like, they need structure. They need, like,
right.
they need to have the sense, this is not my words, this is like something that people say, but like the sense beat into them or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
And for some people, I don't think that that is a problem. And again, I'm not a psychologist, so
I just, my thing is like, I don't understand what like spanking or hitting does, because it's like, I feel like I never got hit once in my life. And I like was able to know like, like why I wasn't doing something. Instead of them spanking me, they explained to me why no was the answer there.
Right.
And I feel like when your kid is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're spanking them for doing something wrong, they don't understand why they're not supposed to be doing something. They know to not do it because they don't want to get hit. Like what, and like Kathy said on the documentary, she was like, fear is the best power that you can have over someone. And that was like scary to me.
It is
Like,
scary.
I'm like, that's not what you want in a mom. You don't want her to be like, I want you to fear me. That isn't like what you want. So I truly don't understand the spanking mentality, because I don't think that that is going to stop, like, just explain it. I don't understand what it does.
I think that for the, in some cases it may be like the like, and it's generational, which is why I say that it's a huge issue that we don't talk about, because like, I mean, okay, so my mom is 78. And the way that she was raised was like, I don't think that I have actually no idea. She never talks about her parents. I've never even seen a picture of my grandma, so I don't know this. But she was raised very differently, and it was very like a very cold, a very like hard line was drawn between parent and child, and there was no like, you're not your kid's friend. You're not like here to like have a relationship. You're here to like get them out the door and get them settled and out the door. So,
which, how terrible.
Well, yeah, I guess, but also like, I don't know what it was a different time. It was just such a different time. And so a lot of people grow up, and I mean, my mom's the age of a lot of people's grandparents. So like, you know, your grandparents did that to your parents do that to you. Like, you know, it's just kind of, I can see, especially, and again, exception to the rule. I don't think that Paris is like, you know, there's a lot about it that I'm kind of like, you kind of have too much money to have all these issues that you're putting on this documentary right now. But then part of me is very compassionate, and especially maybe not towards Kathy, but towards other parents who get, you know, this idea that it's like, you know, you don't want to hit your kid. You don't want to put them through all this pain, but that's what we're here for, because they'll come back more disciplined. I guess maybe that's what like people get in the army for. I don't know. I don't really know anything about the military.
Got it. What do you mean by having too much money to be able to complain about it? Or have those, like, do you mean like just like Paris?
No, I meant Kathy. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I feel like maybe Kathy doesn't have an excuse necessarily for not knowing what was going on at the school, because if I had all the money in the world, and because one of the big things is you're telling what kids are saying are that they couldn't call home and tell them what was really going on and the abuse that they experienced because they would get in trouble, which I 100% believe.
Oh yeah.
What I'm not sure of is if I was Kathy and I had all this money and power and influence, and I don't know, my kid wasn't calling me or was sounding funny on the phone. Like, I mean, if I was sending my kid anywhere, I would probably have them under some like crazy, like private investigation shit, just to like,
make sure
that everything that's going on is what they say.
Right. I mean, personally, I don't think I would I would be able to let 2 men in and take my child away, and then like have her kicking and screaming as she leaves out the door. You know what I mean? Like, because they drew a cartoon of it and it just seemed so dramatic. And then you hear Nikki also talk about hearing her just like screaming bloody murder, and then the next morning they act like nothing happened.
And that's actually like, that's not just a Paris thing. That's like part of the
Oh, I know.
process.
The boarding school thing.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. One of my biggest things too was that at the end we see Paris tell her mom like what happened, and like we see her react, and like she puts her head down and she acts really sad, and then she looks back up and her eyes are dry, and I was like, okay, well, that was okay. And it's not like I don't believe that she didn't know what was going on, but I feel like she just like decided to like not know.
Yeah.
Because she was told that it was going to work or whatever. And all it did was drive Paris to want to, you know, become somebody who didn't have to be told what to do.
And
but also be a teenager for fucking ever, or a kid forever, honestly.
Yeah, because she really has like zero responsibilities.
But my point is that during that, when she said all of that, I was disappointed that Kathy didn't apologize.
Yeah.
And then my sister was like, well, maybe she did it off camera. And I'm like, why would she do it off like that? It would have, I'm sure she would have wanted. Like, I just don't, like, if I knew that my daughter felt traumatized and like she had gone through a lot of pain, I would be like, I'm really sorry that you had to go through that. And like, yeah, it made you the person that you are today and you're amazing, but I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And instead, Kathy is just sitting there like, I mean, she's just so strong because of it. Look at her now. I did that. Fuck you.
It's really weird. And you'll see that same like, but they have like this culture of like, we don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. And like, that's how Kyle treated Kim.
Yeah.
With the drugs and alcohol.
I'm so happy that we can do these two hand in hand. Like it's incredible.
Well, they're very important to put together because the Hiltons,
they are.
I mean, that family's got a lot of weird shit going on. Did you ever watch American Woman, Kyle's series?
Mm-mm.
So we'll have to watch that together because I never watched it either.
But there's apparently like a bunch of stuff in it, right?
So Kyle wrote it about her mom. Everyone already knew that her mom was like a major problematic figure. Mm-hmm. But the family is so like, we don't talk about it, that they did not want her to release it. She released it. She got one season done. Apparently it was very good. I never watched it because I guess the drama around it, I never even thought it aired, but I guess it did. Based on like
the reality show Real Housewives, I like didn't want to watch it.
Because it seemed like it like
they also made it seem like it wasn't going to be good, I feel like, or that it was like cheaply done or something. I don't know.
I think FX did it, and I feel very satisfied with everything FX does.
Huh. I like that. I feel very satisfied.
Do like a recap of it.
Yes, I mean, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, no, I'm super into that because I'm really fascinated by this family. I could honestly, if you wanted to.
I mean, you're opening up my mind to so much that I didn't know just by watching the documentary. You're almost like a little encyclopedia I didn't know I needed.
Well.
Also, I literally cannot get over how good you look. Like, goals. I can't. It's too good.
Thank you. Break your leg, it'll change your life, man. You go like 3 months without eating and you'll sleep all the time. It'll be so tight. And you won't drink because you'll be on drugs. It'll be tight.
Oh my Lord, that sounds miserable. I'm happy you're better now. I was shocked to see, because you broke your leg skating, right?
Correct, yes.
And then you broke it, got a bunch of crap done to it. It was you got surgery, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. Then you went back and skated again.
No, so I didn't actually skate. I put skates on.
Okay.
Because when you're learning how to quad skate, part of the thing is when you're like a beginner, part of the thing is you just put the skates on your feet every day. That's like step one. You do that for like 2 weeks just to get your like body and your feet used to the feel of having them on. You don't get up, you don't roll around. So I did that. Because I was like, well, I was never very good at skating anyway, so I figured I should probably just relearn the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I stood up and I thought I would be fine because I didn't feel super traumatized from it, but then I got like super dizzy if I was gonna faint. And
oh God.
I sat down and I was like, all right, well, we're just gonna take
these
bad boys off.
Oh my God.
And that was 3 days after the last time I was a guest on your podcast. I just can't believe it.
That's so wild.
Different state of mind at that time. I was a different person, it feels like.
Do you like the after broken leg version of you?
I do. Also, one thing, we can cut all of this out, but when we talked, you asked me a bunch of different Real Housewives questions, and I was like, I didn't really know.
Uh-huh.
And since that time,
Uh-huh.
because I had never watched New York, or I had just started that week, I've
Yes.
now watched the entire series twice.
Got it.
I've completely caught up on Potomac.
Oh, because you had all the time because of your leg.
Yeah, because I was couch ridden. I seriously
Yes.
slept on the couch for 2 months. So I watched every single franchise. I also recently watched Miami. The only franchise I haven't watched is New Jersey.
Yeah. So did you do Atlanta?
Yeah,
Where did you watch Atlanta? Is it on Hulu?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Are they all on Hulu?
So, okay, Atlanta, yes. New York, yes.
Beverly Hills.
Yes. Beverly Hills, of course. Miami, I had to buy. I bought Miami.
Got it.
Because I've heard really good things about it, so I wanted to watch it.
I've seen it. I don't remember it.
Dallas is on Peacock TV, so I bought I got a free trial, a 7-day free trial.
I thought that Peacock was just free in general. That's what they say.
It is if you want commercials every 10 minutes. And
Got you.
can't. And Dallas wasn't. I liked the first season a lot. People don't like the first season. I liked it a lot, but by the time I got to season 3, I was like, I don't care for this at all, or these women. But I heard that season 4 is when the racism thing comes out, and so I didn't know if I even really wanted to watch that because
you do
I support that.
I mean, it's not like you're watching it because it's like you support it, but it is interesting to see such blatant racism. I'm shocked daily on how many people are racist. Because I'm not, so it's I think that everybody thinks like I do. And then when I find out people are Trump supporters, I'm like, oh, so you're racist. Okay, got it. All right, cool.
Yeah, I've seen your post.
It's so wild to find out the types people, just everyday people that you're like, oh, you're a sack of garbage. All right, cool. I didn't know, but thank you for letting me know because now I can steer clear of you.
It's so interesting to see your posts about the DMs you get because your podcast is so. I mean, to me, it's explicit. I mean, it's sexually explicit. You don't sugarcoat anything, and so when you start saying the 101 basics of anti-racism, Black Lives Matter, and you just say that, and then you get all this hatred in your inbox. I just find that to be, I mean, it's part of the work and you got to do it, but it's kind of interesting to see that because I'm like, how are you able to sit here and listen to her talk about Cox, but when she says Black Lives Matter, that's so triggering to you? It's
because wild. Me being sexual is fun and exciting to them, but me speaking out on a lot of them are older and a lot of them are didn't your parents teach you to not talk about politics and stuff like that, so they just don't, they think that I just am supposed to keep it fun and keep it light and I'm not supposed to do any of that stuff. But it's I mean, I have my podcast to empower women and make people feel normal about whatever sexual experiences they have. This isn't for some guy in his basement to listen to me talk about sexual experiences and jack off to it. That's not what my podcast is, but a lot of people take it like that, and then they're shocked when I talk about things that aren't sucking dick. Yeah, I love to suck dick, but I also care about politics and I'm very worried about this election. And I'm going to talk about whatever it is that is on my mind because this is my platform. So the hate and the stuff that I get, I don't care because I'm just going to keep speaking out and I won't stop saying fuck Donald Trump.
Well, and I think it's also about I don't know that you would, I don't like to describe labels. Some people don't like to label themselves as feminists. For me, that's a really touchy subject because I feel like the word feminism is not always inclusive of not white women. But to me, it's interesting because what you do to me is feminism is empowering women, but can't do that if you're not also uplifting Black women, if you're not also uplifting all women. And so it's like, and that's why I felt like I had to get the caveat at the top, like, hey, Paris has definitely endured trauma, but also like, let's keep in mind that is a very much everything that happens with Paris is a point of her privilege.
But that's also not her fault.
No.
Like, that's what she was, like, she didn't ask for the, like, I mean, she asked for the fame and stuff, but, you know, I mean, that was the hand she was dealt.
The capitalism side, she did not necessarily ask for. Also, can we talk about something really quick? At one point, she says, I don't want to stop until I have $1 billion. And I was like, you don't already have $1 billion? And then I was like, how does Kylie Jenner have $1 billion and you don't have $1 billion? Because like, you're a hotel heiress. And I was so confused. And so I wanted to ask you, this is not my podcast.
No, this is your podcast today. It's yours.
I wanted to ask you, do you think that Paris is lying about not having $1 million already? Or do you think Kylie's lying about having $1 billion?
Well, there was the whole thing that came out, like Forbes tried to retract their statement, but I didn't look into the story, so I'm kind of just blindly talking here.
Right.
However, like Kylie's makeup brand is so like,
girl, look at me right now, bitch.
Like and it just keeps going. Like I've got like
oh my
17.
God, you have so much.
I have so many. Like, oh, here's more.
Are those her eyes?
Or yes. And let me tell you, this is hands down the best fucking eyeshadow I've ever used in my life. You want to talk about a blended, loving, what I will pay. These are like $48 and I'm just like, take my money. I don't spend money on makeup, but yet I have all of these because the shit is great. This highlighter, let's take a moment. I mean, like, it's so pretty. I can't. So I feel like with Kylie, like, this is like real money, you know what I mean? But like maybe like owning a hotel and like maybe doing but doesn't she make $1 million every time she does a DJ set or something?
That's the rumor that every single show. Okay, wait, because we have to talk about this boyfriend. We have to talk about tomorrow.
Can I ask a wild question?
Sure.
I was gonna make me sound like an idiot. How many million make $1 billion?
Oh girl, I don't know, 100.
I'm so happy your response wasn't like, you should know this.
I have no idea how many million make $1 billion.
I don't know. Like, how much is $1 billion? Because, like, I know how much like $100,000. You know what I mean? Like, right. I know how much $1 million is. So, like, what's $1 billion? 100
million?
Let's ask.
Wait, let me guess.
Okay, I love it.
Is it 100 million?
No.
Okay.
It's 1,000 million.
1,000 million?
That's what it says.
Holy shit.
1 billion short scale, 1,000 million. Yeah. Is the natural number following 999999999. Yeah, okay.
All right, well, that's very interesting.
1,000 million. Followed by 9 notes? Noughts? What the fuck is that?
Is that above $1 billion?
I don't fucking know. Can you fucking imagine, though, just having even, like, how much did she say she had? 100 million?
Yeah, she said something. She was like, when I got to 100 million, I thought I would be good, and then I didn't think I was good anymore.
Like, what? You're opening champagne?
I'm trying.
So exciting. I'm so excited for you.
I'm not doing a good job.
Just pull that sucker off.
Asshole.
Oh, well, you have to take that part off.
Right. Well, most bottles of wine that I use don't have that part, dude.
Oh, you just do like a screw top?
Well, they don't usually have a bottle cap on top of the cork.
Oh, I thought that was the wire thingy.
No, I have some. No, I'm.
Got you. Okay, I thought that was what
Come on.
you I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I got it. All right. Whew, we can resume.
And then there goes the straw.
It's all right. Landed on a bed of costumes, so we're good. So, all right, let's talk about loser guy that she's dating and his whole stupid thing.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing though.
That was amazing.
Like to watch her like rip his bracelets off and then kick him out and watch him like trying to get out of the van.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was so great. And I have to say that like the couple of podcasts I did listen to that talked about it were like, that's so stupid, like basically making fun of her again. I'm very defensive of her to say that, like, I don't know if you know, but it's a really big deal to rip someone's wristbands off. And I'm like, yeah, that's a really big fucking deal because you're a $1 million headliner at Tomorrowland, which that's not my scene. Mm-hmm. However, I have dabbled with people who dabble in the scene. Mm-hmm. And people come from all around the world. Like, that's a very expensive, huge ass festival.
Yeah.
Like, if you had wristbands to Coachella and someone ripped them off of you and you had backstage passes,
right,
that would suck. You don't do that.
Also, it's just like, why make fun of her when like clearly he was pushing her buttons before she was going on and she just kept saying, please leave me alone, please. If he had just taken his space and like drank some water and then apologized, like all of it could have easily been avoided. But because he acted like that, like, you know,
he kept pressing her. I just can't. It was giving me so much anxiety to watch him do that as she's walking on stage.
And why didn't anybody tell him to back the fuck up? Like, she had all those people around her and nobody really did anything.
And well, I don't want to defend anybody because I think that was absolutely appalling. Mm-hmm. But I think that, I mean, maybe they couldn't, because I couldn't quite hear what he was saying if it hadn't been for the captions. I wouldn't have known what he was saying to her. But she was very clearly like,
get away.
I don't care, get away. Even if he was just like in her ear just saying stupid shit, it doesn't matter. She's saying get away. He didn't get away.
Right. Even if he was apologizing, like, she just needed a moment.
She needed a moment. She was about to go on stage, aren't y'all all getting paid off of her? Don't you want her to make good money? Don't you want her to have that? What the hell? What's going on here? Loved
that she put the cameras in her house though to like make sure he didn't do anything wild. That was hilarious to me. But I mean, also like, yeah, I don't blame her.
No, I definitely don't blame her.
She can do that. That's fine. But yeah, I didn't think about how a lot of people are probably going to watch it and judge her and not really like have sympathy for it because she has like so much money or because this and that. But it's like, I mean, she's still human.
She's still human and she's still like,
she's lonely.
She's so lonely.
Like, I did not realize how lonely she is. Like, no wonder she always has a different chihuahua and she's always out. Like, no wonder she likes nightlife too, because we now know that she doesn't want to go to sleep because she has such terrible nightmares. And like, she never wants to go to sleep because like, you know, that's when you have to face the reality. So of course she wants to stay up all night and be out at nightclubs and doing all of this and that.
And
like, I get it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I don't judge her for it. Like, I get it.
She said at one point, and I wish I had taken notes because I thought that when she said it, I was like struck. Mm-hmm. When she was talking about her two fans or her like fans that
came all the way.
Mm-hmm. Came all the way, and she said something to the extent of, "That's the only time I don't feel alone." And I was like, I resonated with that because I was like, I feel like I probably invest a good bit of like compassion into this woman that like other people in her real life maybe don't.
Right.
And like I was like, it must be really something to know that people who have never met you or meet you in very like superficial situations in passing, give you so much credit and give you so much compassion for who you are as a person and want to believe the best of you no matter what.
Right.
Whereas all these relationships that you have in your waking life and your real life
Aren't like that.
are like homeboy who was like, and at first it didn't bother me, but then when I thought about it, I was like, there's something weird about this guy that like started his paparazzi empire off of Paris and now just like clings to her every move. I was like, that's not a friend. That's just someone that's around you that like has to be nice to you.
Oh, the guy who's her social media whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't like him at all.
No.
I was like, okay. I mean, I don't like what this sounds like, but, and just like the way that he's like in the car and she's like taking a moment and he's like, so Paris. And she like has to turn on for a second. And like, I don't know. I didn't like him at all.
No, I wasn't into him.
Yeah. No.
What are your thoughts on Nikki? This is the most I've ever seen Nikki speak in any capacity.
Well, I kept seeing quotes online saying that she is saying that like Paris comes off as like privileged or something in it or what have you. But then I also wrote down somewhere here, not going to lie, Nikki sounds kind of bitter.
Well, first of all, yeah, I mean, they're all very privileged. Why would Nikki be saying that? What's interesting about that?
I didn't even read the article because I was like, well, I mean, why would you even what? Like, yeah, and you're in it. What? I don't. You're
and
in the whole documentary.
A Rothschild, like, girl, you're privileged, girl. We're all. I'm not. I don't live with y'all. I think I do sometimes, but like.
So obsessed with you, I may as well. I'm Hilton. It also shocked me when Paris said, quote, I loved the attention because I felt like it was love.
Yeah.
Like, clearly, homegirl was not getting at home what she needed to, which caused her to, seek it elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like she never really got to, like, grow up. And she even says, like, I'm scared to grow up.
Yeah.
And
she has, all these people around her. And then, like Nikki says, like, she... everything is drama with her, but she's also kind of like really scattered.
I said somewhere here, someone who's hectic, it doesn't mean that they love drama, because she says like Nikki says in it, like, she loves drama, she's always like, I need to go back up, I need to do this, I need to do that, but like that's not somebody who loves drama. Like, it's somebody who feels like, one, they're being rushed, or like that they just can't get in the right mind space to do everything that they need to do.
And we're just gonna have to keep circling back, but someone who I felt, Kim Richards, her aunt, that scene where she and what's his name, not Max, her boyfriend.
The one that she describes as a bulldog.
I
literally just watched all of it. Why can't I
don't know. It's not John. It's not the gay bull. This is driving me crazy. And it's the name of another character on the show. Is it Max?
I'm gonna look it up.
Ken. It's Ken. His name is Ken.
It is Ken.
So Ken and her are in a hotel room, which I also can just like side note, when Kim is like, so we got a hotel room because that would be easier for us to drive back. I was like, it sounds like you guys are living in a hotel. Yeah. But anyway, Ken and her are getting ready to go out to, I think, VPR or something, and VPR, you know what I mean? Sure.
Yeah.
And they are like taking forever. And to me, that was someone who was like into the drama and like but also not organized.
But we also learn later that she was going in the bathroom to like drink. She was drinking because I just watched the when Andy sits down with her after she gets out of rehab, and he's
Yeah.
like, I have footage of the night that you go to Sir. Do you want to see it? And like she watches it, and she's like, yeah, I was drinking that night, and like I was out of my mind.
She was more than drunk.
Oh, she was on pill. I'm assuming she was on pills and drinking.
I can't even. I really I need the truth on some of these shows, and like that's one of the ones where I'm like, I need you to be very real. Like, what were you actually doing? Because like maybe Xanax, but like I don't know. It seems like there was something more going on with y'all in that.
That's why I didn't knock Brandy for keeping saying, like, I mean, she was in the bathroom all the time, clearly inebriated on something, and like, I mean, yeah, they're pissed because they were trying to keep it so hush hush off camera, and she's talking about it, but she's like, if I were new coming into that situation, I feel like I would also be doing that too, and I also would be like, then don't be on the fucking show if you guys want to fucking hide it.
Yeah.
Like, this is a reality show. Like, if you need to protect her so bad, then why is she coming here fucking frazzled out of her mind? But
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm thinking that maybe there's some relation between Paris's like chaotic behavior and Kim's behavior, because they both had like trauma in their childhood that maybe they didn't deal with.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly why I even said that. Because
sorry, did I steal your point? I'm sorry.
No, I rambled so much that I lost my point. You picked it up.
Good. You're good.
But no, like, but I agree. I felt like it was, I mean, but then she reminded me of a friend that I have that does stuff like that. That's like, I've also, out of like frustration, felt like it was about drama. But then like, I've gone back and been like, I think that, there's something more going on there.
I mean, I'm pretty hectic when I leave the house. Like, a lot of the time, like, I'll want to like go back in to get sunglasses that I forgot, but I feel like it's more stoner brain, like I'm just like forgetting shit. But I also have OCD where I want to like go back into my house and make sure that like I turned off the coffee maker, or like I turned off the straightener or stuff like that.
The stove or the slow cooker.
Yeah, like all of the shit that isn't plugged in that I assume is I want to go back and check. So that's more it's not because I want drama or because I am traumatized. I just can't quite get my life together when I leave the house.
Well, Nikki also came off a little like cold.
Yeah, definitely.
And I also thought it was interesting that she was like, oh, I used to tell on Paris all the time. And then it reminded me of this season when Kyle was like, I was having sex with my boyfriend, and Kim came in and was like, gotcha, and went and told mom and like took the covers off of her, some crazy shit. And I mean, I don't have a sister that I grew up with.
Yeah.
So I was like, is that how sisters usually are? But then I was like, Nikki, why did you tell her? She was like, well, I don't know. Paris was out of control.
But it's like, aren't you your sister?
Yeah.
I don't know,
it's like
man.
Interesting. It's like the sister dynamic. Also, all three of Kim, Kathy, and Kyle sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle has does she have any boys? I think she only has girls. Kathy has 2 girls and I think 2 boys. And then Kim has
all girls.
All girls. Or all girls. So like the like sister like dynamics of that are fascinating to me. They're fascinating. Because
I like that Kyle, though, clearly is like giving her children like the type of like love and like affection that they need. Like whatever she wasn't given, like she definitely like makes sure that she gives to her kids, which I don't think is something that Kathy did.
No,
I don't. I understand the whole like family dynamic now so much more, and like even though I was watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I still never really understood where everybody fit in like with the Hiltons. But now I understand. It's just because they all have different last names. That's why it's confusing, because they don't have the same last name anymore, and I'm a fucking idiot. I want to look over my notes and see any other things. Oh, the sex tape.
Yes.
I want to talk about that. I didn't like how everybody was just like so ashamed, and there was no like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you.
Yeah.
Like, what about like, I'm so sorry that some awful guy leaked a sex tape, and then like people are like, well, she should have never taped it. Like, haven't you done stuff that shouldn't be on camera or shouldn't go anywhere? Like, I take nudes. I don't want the people who I trust to like send those out places. Like, if something were to get out, like that would be terrible. Like, that's not why she took it. Like, she took it because she felt pressured, and she says that. And then you see the douchebag guy like on the camera being like, oh, they say this and that and this and that, but like you can tell that he's a fucking asshole.
Such a dick.
Yeah.
Nothing about that guy. Oh, okay. We're gonna keep going.
No, but, say it.
No, I just, because there's just like so much that comes up. Put a pin in Nick Carter for a second, because I want to keep talking about homeboy with the sex tape.
Got it.
I felt like I thought it was interesting because at one point Paris was like, and now sex tapes are like the blueprint for people getting famous. And I felt like that was a very strong and interesting statement, because you could tell the way that she talks about that, she is not like proud of that. She does not feel like that started her career. At one point she said like, I didn't need that, and she's so right. She did not need that.
No.
She was already so famous, like, and her family was so rich, like she didn't need that.
No. And
then you look at the old personal assistant, who again, I like to think of myself as a reformed Kardashian fan. Stan, actually. I actually did do 3 quizzes recently, and I do know a lot about the Kardashians.
Love it. But wait, you hate them now? Is that a thing?
No, I hate them. No. But I'm trying to like, I'm realizing how problematic they are. And that's hard for me because I really invested a lot of time
into
like,
the Kardashians.
Into the Kardashians. So I'm trying to like, I don't know, conflate that, I guess, with the fact that they are heavily problematic.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a really strong statement of Paris to make. And I think that it's interesting because when Kim came on the scene, I remembered that Kim was Paris's assistant.
Right.
But I didn't like remember her like that, but I like remembered that they were like, you know, connected in some way. But it was also at some point like controversial, and I don't remember what year it was. I don't remember exactly in what context, but there was a time period where it was like in the news cycle that like Kim was part of Paris's crowd, but they were no longer friends. And that was a very short-lived period. And Kim never talked about Paris. Kim never brought Paris up, or like, it was really weird in interviews. She would be really weird about Paris. And so like, I'm looking back on it and I'm like, I wonder if Kim doing this and the way that the whole sex tape thing went for Kim, which I think at this point is pretty widely known to be on purpose. I wonder,
has she ever said that it was?
She's never said that, but
she's like, I was on ecstasy.
Yeah, she has said she was on ecstasy.
Yeah, and I mean, Ray J is like not amazing. Like I feel like let's say maybe they were at dinner one night and like she made a joke about it or something, right? And they had already taken a tape or something, and like maybe he leaked it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know necessarily that Chris leaked it. I'm just saying that I think that it was interesting that like,
there's no way Chris, I just feel like there is, what?
You don't think Chris did it?
That's really gross.
Yeah, that would suck.
Like, unless like Kim knew, like unless it was like, hey mom, do you think that we should release my porn? And then like she was like, maybe, yeah. And then they did it together. I'd be less grossed out about it. But like,
no, I think that if anything, it probably went something like Ray J or someone. What I think happened, this is my conspiracy. I think that Ray J maybe sent it to someone who was going to leak it. And because he was going to leak it because of how successful Paris's was. And we all saw that, not necessarily because they were connected, but because it was so successful. And I think that Chris and Kim probably sat down and were like, well, we can either make a huge fucking deal out of this or we can make money off of it.
Right.
And I think that fucked Kim up. And I think that I think that that's why for so many seasons, Kim has all these encounters with situations where she's like naked or provocative, and she has all these like moral conflicts, and we see that on screen. That's a whole other thing. I've watched a lot of Kardashians in my life.
Right. Like with the Playboy stuff, like when she doesn't want to be nude and then they
Right.
like blah, 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 and the whole thing.
And I think that it's because I think it all stems from the tape, but not because it was like released with like, I don't think that she didn't know it was going to happen. And I think that that doesn't necessarily mean that she
put it out there herself.
Right. I just
so
think that
you just think that like maybe it got leaked and they were like, it's going to come out. And she was like, well, okay.
How can we make the best of this? Yeah.
But I mean, wouldn't anybody?
Yeah.
Because I mean, of course they're going to want to put out Robert Kardashian's daughter having sex.
Yeah.
Right.
But see, I don't think that that's what happened with Paris. I think that Paris was, I think that that was legit, like,
yeah, like the boyfriend, like fucking, yeah. I mean, he had people paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember all of that happening. So it's just, it's terrible, like with the whole sex tape thing and the fact that her family was like so ashamed when it's like it wasn't her fault.
No.
And I'm sure they're like, well, I mean, don't take stuff like that. But it's like, I mean, it's a different time. But maybe you didn't like take nudes when you were doing whatever or have filmed this or that, but like that happens now.
Can we also just pivot really quick to Nick Carter? Okay. So she shows those pictures.
Yeah.
Of when she had bruises on her, and that was during the time that she was with Nick.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't even know she dated Nick Carter.
She did date Nick Carter. I think it was kind of brief.
Got it.
Like I think it was like a.
Well, now we know why.
I might be wrong, but I think it was like it was for sure less than 2 years, but I'm thinking it was probably just a few months.
Okay.
I could just look it up, but I'm not going to.
Feel you.
But so she has these pictures come out where she has bruises, and it was like alleged that Nick Carter hit her, right? And no one ever, obviously, that never got addressed.
Yeah.
And so she's talking about this in the documentary, and then it had come out because, you know, Aaron Carter been going through it. Bless him. He's got like a lot going on.
Yeah.
But he, you know, they used to have that show, you know, that, oh my God, you know, the sister died. Like, I think she committed suicide, and like, they had this whole like miserable situation, but they had like the House of Carters reality show that lasted like a very short amount of time as well.
Got it.
I also like can't remember time periods, but I don't think it was more than a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
And so there's this one episode that's really messed up where Aaron is like playing music loud and it pisses Nick off, and Nick gets up and he comes and confronts Aaron, and they're fighting, and then Nick closes the door and you hear him like hitting him. You hear him like hitting Aaron. And then one of the people in the house, I don't know if it was mom or somebody, comes out and gets them out of the room. And Aaron is like, you're not a good person, Nick. Like, you're a fucked up person. And now everybody's going to see it because everyone knows that you have all these problems. And then Nick was like, if you want to know why I hate my brother, the reason I hate him is because the day after me and Paris broke up, he was in the car with Paris and he got her loaded and he was taking pictures with her. And he was taking, it's fun. It's not funny. It's interesting because Nick was talking about selfies, but we didn't have that language at the time. So he was like, he was taking pictures like this with her, and like holding the phone in front of their faces, like, you know, like a selfie.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that language. And he was like, and he got her loaded and da-da-da-da. And I was like, and it is so bizarre to, like, I rewatched it right before, like maybe yesterday.
Oh, wow. And okay.
I was like, oh God, yeah, this was really intense. And you watch it, you're like, holy shit. But I guess like the context of the show, I don't know, you like didn't think about it, but when you watch it, you're like, oh yeah, no, Nick was kind of abusive. And you wouldn't think that of Nick. You would think that of Aaron because of Aaron being wild, you know?
Yeah. Jeez.
Katie, I'm so sorry.
I love it. This is, you're opening my eyes up to a whole world I didn't know about. You know what I mean?
I just like I have had so many feelings.
So I'm happy you have a place to finally get them out. And it's like, I know that her parents were just like doing the best that they could, I guess, with like what she was giving them, and like that they did what they thought was best, but like the poor girl was traumatized after.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, didn't she say like she felt like a shell of a human when she got back, and she just wanted to like get in, like they show pictures of her just like looking absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
You know? And it's so interesting too that like even with Kim and Kyle watching everything that happened with Paris, they still did a reality show. And like Kim's life fell apart on it.
Yeah.
Like you would think that they would know, like, but like maybe Kim or Kyle just didn't care, because I feel like Kyle is like real, like she's got her head screwed on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so maybe she thought that it would be good for them to do it because she finally wanted to be honest.
Or maybe it's like the proactive, like, get in front of it or get ahead of it before they get to you, you know, type of thing.
Yeah,
And I
maybe.
think that, I mean, because that argument in the limo where Kim is like, you stole my house or whatever.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
like, I don't know that any, like, I know that the details have come out about what exactly that meant.
Yeah.
But like, Kyle's reaction in that moment where she goes, do you know what you just said? Was like, I don't think that she expected it to be like that. Like, I think that they think, and I think that maybe Kathy also thinks that they can keep they have enough resources, they have the money, they have the power, they have the control to keep things under wraps. Like, they can control their own narrative. And I think that's
the impression that I got when she said that was more like, do you hear what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because that is not what happened. Because she sold her share of the house because she needed the money.
Yeah.
And then when she came back in and she was like, I want the house again, Kyle was like, well, no, like I'm good. Like it's fine. Like I'll just, you know, she's like, I mean, it's still yours, but that's where the whole, like, you stole my goddamn house came from.
Yeah.
So maybe, but also like maybe you are right. And she's like, I just like, you're really doing, but she was also drunk that night. So maybe she wasn't thinking before she was saying, you know, like, you stole my goddamn house and stuff.
Well, and again, because I don't remember the details and you just schooled me.
Well, that's only because I just watched it. I can't ever remember anything. So the fact that I was able to just pull something out of but that's because I literally just watched it.
Well, and also I just like, but Kyle got so angry. She got so angry. And I'm like, are you angry about what she said? Are you angry that she's drunk and you can't address it? Like, what are you mad about?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of stuff still that hasn't gone on because Andy, in literally what's paused on the television behind me, was asking them, was like, he said, I think, like, what were you mad about, or like what is like all of the underlying like resentment, and they both said like, we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So like something more has gone on or something, like, I don't know, but I feel like it's worse to leave it to everyone's imaginations than to just like be open and on, like, then people will understand. But maybe because they have such a big history and like they have all these different people that they like do feel like they need to represent and like stay quiet.
Yeah. It's kind of fascinating, I'm not gonna lie.
No, it is. I mean, I feel like that's why people are so interested in it. I mean, I think like over 3 million people watched that interview or that documentary so far. Like, and I like I said before, I feel like you go into it thinking that it's going to be like your fun, you know, like, oh, this is what she buys and this is what she eats and this is what she does. But then it's, you know, it's a bigger glimpse into what she's had to deal with and carry on her shoulders, while also keeping it all secret because she just wants a whatever her goal was, like whatever it was that she was dreaming about.
I don't think that she had a goal. I think that she was just raised not to talk about shit. And I
The
have.
only reason I say goal is because she said, and I have like the visual picture of it, when she was in solitary confinement, the only thing that got her through was thinking about what she was going to do,
Oh,
like
yeah.
when she got out, and like who she was going to become. That's what I mean by that. And then just like, in a way being money hungry, because the more money you have, the less your parents can tell you what to do. And she says that, like, that she just wanted to have so much that like nobody could tell her what to do. But then at the same time, they're always going to treat her like she's a kid. That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were saying.
No, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Kathy's going to join Beverly Hills this next season?
I'd rather have Chris.
Girl, Chris is not joining damn Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, girl.
Well, listen, if I'm gonna have to choose, like, I don't want to watch that woman's drama. I don't care shit about her.
I think that, well, again, I want to give credit to whoever I was listening to, but it was a podcast. I don't remember who said it.
Mm-hmm.
Said that we've had enough of the Richard sisters. Like, we can have someone else.
Like, I don't need
but
that.
Not Kris Jenner would never. Kris Jenner would never.
Can you imagine? It'd be great.
It would be great. I think.
Or what about Faye? I would be fine with Faye.
Let's get her back.
Like, she was a great added on when she was coming on with Camille or whoever, and she's always at the parties. Let's ask her.
Yeah, she can be a full-time, and then we can have Chris be a friend of. I could see Chris being a friend of.
Yeah, I'm available. I'm available for that.
Yeah.
Wasn't she at Kyle's party and they showed her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's been opening her prospects a little bit. Well, and
since the Kardashians are ending, maybe she would be more inclined to attend a lunch with cameras with Bravo. I feel like I just heard myself knock on my brain and it sounded like a hollow door. And I'm like, hello. All this reality TV I've watched is, got nothing left in the brain. Do you have any final This Is Paris thoughts? God, you look so amazing. My God. It was like a pose when I looked back up. It's like, oh.
I'm trying to think. I think that I've gotten it all off my chest. I will say, I think.
Do you feel better now?
I do feel better.
Okay. Do you feel like you've gone to therapy and let it all out? That's all I need to know.
I do.
Good.
I feel like also some people think that I just feel like sometimes if you have a platform, just like, use it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like she did I know that it wasn't the crux of the documentary. It should have been, but it wasn't. But it was at the end.
They couldn't put it in the middle. Like,
yeah.
They got to tell the story first, I guess.
I think that ultimately it did what it needed to do because it resonated with me. I was like, well, what the fuck? And now I want to like bring all these schools down because I do a position that actually helps the goal. Yeah. It actually does what these schools are trying to do.
Right. Without throwing them into a room naked for 18 hours starving.
Without it's like deprivation is not the way.
The answer.
To get the behavioral goal that you want.
No.
Shame is not the way to do it. And a punitive response is usually just like the worst way. You want to be restorative. You want to be proactive. You want to have the conversations with the kids or the teens or whatever and be like, hey, like, we see you acting like this. Mm-hmm. This is not necessarily how you should be responding or you're responding this way because why? And then let the kid tell you why they're responding that way. Like if the kid walks out of class and throws a desk over, be like, wow, it looks like you're really upset. And that sounds really ridiculous, but it
doesn't sound ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like clearly they're upset about something. So instead of just punishing them for being upset, maybe figure out why.
Yeah. But I feel like parents with a lot of money and people like, maybe let me retract that. Not parents with a lot of money. Parents who have a lot to protect, maybe. Feel like they need to like have a quick resolve, and the talking through it and the socio-emotional response is not quick.
Yeah.
It is very much like something that you have to implement constantly. You have to have consistency. You have to have it's a lot of repetitive shit. It's a lot of having the kid do the same thing over and over and not getting a different response, but you have to be consistent and you have to do it all the time. And then but that, I mean, consistency really helps
Consistency is
children.
key.
Consistency is key. Exactly. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
And not consistent abuse, because consistent abuse is counterproductive.
Well, yeah, and it also led to her being not knowing what abusive relationships were. For Paris to have said that she was with 5 guys that hit her.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane to me. You know what I mean? Like, when she was like, 1, 2, 3, I was like, holy shit. Like,
yeah.
I luckily, I can't count any on my fingers who have, like, touched me. You know what I mean? So it's just, like, I don't, like, that, my goodness. I forgot my thought, so I had to end it. That was gone, so I just, oh my goodness.
What are the travel laws to LA? Can I just come out there? Can I just
What are the what?
Like the travel law, like can you guys have visitors out there or?
Oh, I think you can come out here. It's super Rona'd, but I think there's not much to do.
That's okay.
Like shit's not open. But I think, I mean, when you come out here, you should just quarantine for 3 days. And then once those 3 days are up, go and get tested just to make sure you didn't like get it from the plane or like coming over here or what have you. But then after that, I feel like I think it's fine. I'm not really sure. I think there's like a 3-day, I don't know. I've literally been in my house. I haven't even let anybody in.
Yeah.
Don't come in.
I mean, you may have heard Georgia's not doing great.
Oh, are they not? I don't watch the news because it's scary.
Yeah, we don't have our shit together most days. We don't have our shit together, so you know, I'm just kind of like trapped in this little city, and I want to go somewhere, but soon.
I feel you. I feel trapped here. I just feel trapped in these 4 walls, like, of my apartment. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. But now, because we were dealing with intense fires here, and like when I would check the weather, it would just say smoke, and like the air was so bad. Now it's getting a lot better. Like the air, it's like moderate. I can see blue sky again. Like the sun at one point was orange. Like it was insane. Like it was, I mean, wait, is the sun orange? Red. It was red.
Red, well, yeah.
You know, it was not the color it was supposed to be.
Right.
Any final thoughts? Did you get it all out for This Is Paris?
That's hot.
That's perfect. That's the only really thing that we needed. Thank you for 1, having this idea, because I don't know that I would have watched it, and 2, for coming on my show.
Of course. I just am so happy that you even thought that this was something that I would want to do. And I mean, I guess I did tell everyone it's something I wanted to do, but I don't know. Just everybody have conversations with your kids. Don't be weird about it.
Yeah. And where can everybody find you if they want to follow you?
You can find me at Emily Agogo, Emily Agogo,
which is such a cute name.
Thank you. Interesting fact before we leave: the reason that my name is Emily Agogo. Shout out to my middle/high school best friend. His name is Brett. He said to me when we were in like 7th grade, he was like, "We have to be like Paris and Nicole. We have to be like Paris and Nicole Richie. That's what best friends are." And I was like, okay. And he was like, "So we have to have matching MySpace names." So I was like, okay. So his was Brett Agogo and I was Emily Agogo to match him, and I never changed it. So that's been my handle for like 15 years. So shout out to him.
And I love that it comes full circle to the Paris Hilton situation.
Here we are.
Here we just talked about her for an hour and whatever long we did.
Yes, God.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a blast.
You're welcome.
And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to see you again next Tuesday. Go out, be the best person you can be, and suck as much dick as you possibly can.